Why anxiety feels overwhelming and how Stoicism can help. Anxiety can feel like a heavy weight dragging you down, always lurking in the background, waiting to strike at the worst moments. It can take over your thoughts, making everyday life feel exhausting, like climbing a never-ending mountain. But what if I told you that ancient wisdom holds the key to breaking free from this cycle? That thousands of years ago, some of the greatest thinkers, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, developed techniques that can help you take control of your anxiety today? In this video, we're going to explore 3 powerful Stoic techniques that can shift your mindset, help you manage anxiety, and ultimately bring you peace. These aren't just abstract ideas, they are practical, actionable strategies you can start using immediately. If you've ever felt trapped in worry, uncertainty, or overthinking, stay with me until the end, because these 3 techniques might just change the way you see anxiety forever. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the content and ensures that more people struggling with anxiety can discover these life-changing Stoic principles. And if you find these techniques helpful, let me know in the comments which one resonates with you the most. Now, let's get started. Introduction. What is Stoicism and why it's effective against anxiety? Anxiety is like a storm in your mind, unpredictable, overwhelming, and exhausting. It whispers doubts, magnifies fears, and keeps you trapped in a cycle of overthinking. It can make even the simplest decisions feel like life or death situations and turn everyday moments into battles against your own thoughts. But what if I told you that this struggle isn't new? That over 2,000 years ago, some of the greatest minds in history, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, faced the same inner turmoil? And instead of letting it consume them, they developed a philosophy that transformed fear into strength, uncertainty into resilience, and chaos into clarity. This philosophy is Stoicism, a timeless approach to life that teaches us how to navigate challenges with calmness, wisdom, and control. It doesn't promise to erase anxiety overnight, but it does offer powerful techniques to stop it from ruling your life. In this video, you'll learn how embracing the present moment can silence the noise in your mind, why shifting your focus to what you can control instantly reduces stress, how practicing negative visualization can make you stronger than your fears. If you've ever felt like anxiety is an unbeatable enemy, know this: you are stronger than you think. And with the right mindset, you can break free. Before we dive in, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps more people find this message and start their journey to inner peace. And let me know in the comments, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to anxiety? Now, let's get started. Technique 3. Embrace the present moment. Anxiety is a master of deception. It pulls us into the past, forcing us to relive mistakes and regrets as if we could somehow rewrite them. Or it hurls us into the future, filling our minds with endless what-if scenarios, most of which never come true. We become trapped in a cycle of overthinking, weighed down by guilt over what was and fear over what might be. It's exhausting, overwhelming, and paralyzing. But the Stoics understood something profound. The past is gone, the future is unknown, and the only thing we truly possess is the present moment. Everything outside of it is an illusion, a mental construct that distracts us from reality. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers, summed it up in just 4 words: confine yourself to the present. At first glance, this might seem too simple, but its power lies in its simplicity. By training ourselves to focus on what is happening right now, we weaken anxiety's grip on our minds. This principle, known today as mindfulness, has been extensively studied by psychologists and is now recognized as one of the most effective techniques for reducing stress and anxiety. When we direct our attention to the here and now, we take back control. The racing thoughts slow down. the fear of the unknown loses its hold. We begin to realize that, in this very moment, we are safe. We are breathing. We are alive. And that's where true peace begins, not in worrying about tomorrow, not in dwelling on yesterday, but in embracing the now. How to apply this in daily life? Anchor yourself in the present. When anxiety strikes, it often pulls you into the past, rehashing regrets, or throws you into the future, worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. The fastest way to stop this mental time travel is to anchor yourself in the present moment. A simple but powerful grounding exercise to try is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. 1. 5 things you can see. Look around and name objects, colors, or patterns near you. 2. 4 things you can touch. Feel the texture of your clothing, the warmth of your hands, or a cool surface. 3. 3 things you can hear. Tune in to sounds like birds chirping, a clock ticking, or your own breathing. 4. 2 things you can smell. Notice the scent of your surroundings, whether it's fresh air, coffee, or a candle. 5. 1 thing you can taste. Take a sip of water, chew gum, or simply notice the taste in your mouth. This technique brings you back to reality and reminds you that, in this very moment, you are safe. Anxiety thrives in uncertainty, but when you focus on what is real and tangible, its power over you fades. Slow down and breathe. Your breath is one of the most powerful tools you have for managing anxiety because it is always happening in the present moment. When you feel overwhelmed, focus on slowing your breathing to signal safety to your nervous system. Try this simple exercise. 1. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. 2. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. 3. Exhale gently through your mouth for 6 seconds. 4. Repeat for a few minutes, focusing only on your breath. This kind of deep, intentional breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for relaxation. It tells your brain that there is no immediate danger, helping your racing heart slow down and your muscles relax. Within moments, you'll start to feel more in control. Detach from thoughts. One of the most liberating lessons from Stoicism is this: you are not your thoughts. Anxiety often tricks us into believing that every thought we have is true, urgent, or important, but that's simply not the case. Instead of battling anxious thoughts, try this. 1. Visualize them as passing clouds. Just like clouds move across the sky, thoughts come and go. 1. You don't have to hold on to them. 2. Name the thought. Say to yourself, I'm having an anxious thought about _. 2. This simple act creates distance between you and the thought. 3. Remind yourself, thoughts are not facts. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. 3. Recognizing this can help you let go of fearful narratives that anxiety tries to convince you of. By practicing this, you train yourself to observe thoughts instead of reacting to them. Over time, you'll notice that anxiety loses its power, because you no longer give it the control it once had. Hope in action. You have the power to change. Anxiety may feel like an unstoppable force, but remember, you are stronger than it. These simple techniques, anchoring yourself in the present, slowing down your breath, and detaching from anxious thoughts, are small but powerful steps toward breaking free from the cycle of worry. The key is consistency. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to regain control when anxiety strikes. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be willing to try. And with time, these practices can bring you the peace, clarity, and strength you've been looking for. You've got this. Technique 2. Focus only on what you can control. Have you ever noticed how much of our anxiety comes from things we can't control? 1. What if they don't like me? 2. What if my boss doesn't approve of my work? 3. What if something bad happens tomorrow? Our minds race through endless what-ifs, trying to prepare for every possible outcome. But the truth is, most of these things are beyond our control. No amount of worrying can change how someone feels about us, guarantee a perfect outcome, or prevent every possible misfortune. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that anxiety often arises from fighting reality, wanting certainty where there is none, trying to control things that are inherently uncontrollable. Instead of exhausting ourselves over external events, they encouraged us to focus on what is truly within our power. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it simply, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle: some things are within our control, and some things are not. This idea may seem simple, but it is life-changing when fully embraced. Imagine the weight lifted off your shoulders when you stop trying to force things to go a certain way and instead accept what is. So, the next time anxiety creeps in, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Redirect your energy toward what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your responses. By shifting your focus, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering and step into a calmer, more empowered way of living. How to apply this in daily life? Practical steps to let go of anxiety. Understanding that some things are beyond our control is one thing, but how do we actually put this into practice? When anxiety strikes, it can feel overwhelming, making it difficult to think clearly. That's why having a simple, structured approach can help you regain control of your thoughts and emotions. Here are 3 powerful techniques to help you shift your focus and ease anxiety. Write down your worries. One of the best ways to get out of your own head is to put your thoughts on paper. Take a moment to write down everything that's making you anxious. Then, divide these worries into 2 categories. 1. Things I can control. These include your actions, decisions, and responses. 2. Things I can't control. These might include other people's opinions, external events, or unpredictable outcomes. Once you separate the 2, you'll immediately see where to direct your energy. If something is in your control, you can take action. If it's not, remind yourself that worrying won't change the outcome, and give yourself permission to let it go. Take action on what you can. Anxiety often stems from feeling powerless. But when you focus on what you can do, even small actions can make a huge difference. For example, 1. If you're anxious about an upcoming presentation, you can practice and prepare. 2. If you're worried about finances, you can create a budget or look for ways to save. 3. If you're nervous about what someone thinks of you, you can remind yourself that you can control how you treat them, but not how they respond. Taking action, no matter how small, creates a sense of control and reduces helplessness. Use the "will this matter in a year?" test. When you're caught in a spiral of worry, ask yourself, will this still be important a year from now? Most of the time, the answer is no. So many things that cause us anxiety, awkward conversations, minor mistakes, or small setbacks, fade into the background over time. Keeping a long-term perspective helps you avoid getting consumed by things that won't truly matter in the grand scheme of life. Why this works? When we shift our focus from what we can't control to what we can, something powerful happens. We feel less overwhelmed and more capable. We break free from the cycle of worry. We regain our energy and emotional balance. But sometimes, even after taking control of what we can, anxiety still lingers. That's where our final and most powerful technique comes in, one that helps you turn fear into strength. Let's dive into it next. Technique 1. Practice negative visualization. At first, this might sound counterintuitive. Why would we want to imagine bad things happening when we're already anxious? Shouldn't we be thinking positively instead? But stick with me, this is one of the most powerful Stoic techniques for overcoming fear and worry. What is negative visualization? Technique 1. Practice negative visualization. At first, this might sound counterintuitive. Why would we want to imagine bad things happening when we're already anxious? Shouldn't we be focusing on positive thoughts instead? But stay with me, this is one of the most powerful Stoic techniques for overcoming fear and worry. What is negative visualization? Negative visualization is the practice of deliberately imagining the worst-case scenario, but not in a way that spirals into panic or despair. Instead, it helps you mentally prepare for challenges before they happen and, at the same time, deepens your appreciation for what you already have. The Stoics understood that much of our anxiety comes from the unknown. We stress about things going wrong, but we rarely stop to ask ourselves, what if the worst did happen? Could I handle it? The answer is often yes, we can handle it. Seneca, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." By anticipating difficulties in advance, we strip them of their ability to surprise or overwhelm us. How this helps reduce anxiety. When uncertainty looms, our minds tend to amplify potential dangers. But when we actively walk through a difficult scenario, step by step, we often realize, the worst-case scenario is not as catastrophic as we feared. Even if things go wrong, we are stronger and more resourceful than we think. We have overcome challenges before, and we can do it again. Negative visualization doesn't make bad things happen, it simply prepares us, helping us build resilience and confidence in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. How to apply negative visualization in daily life. Negative visualization isn't about dwelling on negativity, it's about mentally preparing for life's challenges so they don't catch you off guard. Here's how you can practice it. Imagine a worst-case scenario. Take a moment to think about something you fear. What if you lost your job? What if a relationship ended? What if you failed at something important? Instead of avoiding these thoughts, allow yourself to explore them without panic. Ask yourself, what would I do? Instead of spiraling into fear, shift your focus to problem solving. What steps would you take if the worst happened? How would you adapt? Maybe you'd look for a new job, seek support from loved ones, or develop new skills. Often, you'll realize that you're more capable than you think. Realize that you'd survive. When you walk through a worst-case scenario, you often come to a surprising realization. Even if it happened, you would get through it. You have faced difficulties before, and you are still here. This understanding helps weaken fear's grip on your mind. Why this works? It helps you realize that your worst fears are often exaggerated. Our minds tend to make problems seem bigger than they actually are. By confronting them in advance, they lose their power. It reduces the shock of negative events. If something bad does happen, it won't feel as overwhelming because you've already mentally prepared for it. It increases gratitude. When you imagine losing something, you start to appreciate it more. This naturally shifts your mindset toward gratitude, which reduces anxiety. By regularly practicing negative visualization, you train your mind to become stronger, calmer, and more resilient, allowing you to handle life's uncertainties with confidence. Let's recap: 3 Stoic techniques to conquer anxiety. We've covered 3 powerful Stoic techniques that can help you manage anxiety and cultivate inner peace. Let's take a moment to reflect on them. Embrace the present moment. Anxiety thrives when we dwell on the past or worry about the future. By focusing on the here and now, we can break free from overthinking and regain a sense of calm. Simple practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, and engaging with your surroundings can anchor you in the present and quiet your mind. Focus only on what you can control. Many of our worries stem from things we cannot change. The Stoics teach us to let go of these and shift our energy to what is within our power, our thoughts, actions, and responses. By doing this, we reduce unnecessary stress and free ourselves from the frustration of trying to control the uncontrollable. Practice negative visualization. It might seem counterintuitive, but imagining the worst-case scenario helps us build resilience. When we mentally prepare for challenges, they lose their ability to shock and paralyze us. This technique also fosters gratitude, as it reminds us of everything we have right now that we often take for granted. Why these techniques matter? These aren't just abstract ideas, they are practical tools you can start using right now. Whether you take a moment to breathe deeply, write down what's in your control, or visualize how you'd handle a challenge, each small step strengthens your ability to manage anxiety. Anxiety doesn't have to control your life. You have the power to take back control, one thought, one choice, and one moment at a time. Your next step. Now that you've learned these powerful Stoic techniques, it's time to put them into action. Try applying at least one of them this week and observe how it affects your anxiety. Maybe you'll practice negative visualization to build resilience, focus on what you can control to ease your worries, or simply take a moment to ground yourself in the present. Small changes can lead to big transformations. Let's keep the conversation going. Which of these techniques resonated with you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's discuss how Stoicism can help us all navigate life's challenges. If you're interested in diving deeper into Stoicism, mindfulness, and mental resilience, check out my other videos where we explore more strategies to calm the mind and strengthen the spirit. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future content. Every week, we break down timeless wisdom and turn it into practical steps for modern life. Final thought, thank you for watching, and remember, you have the power to take control of your mind. Keep practicing, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.